One of the first things you will learn in Ayurveda and yoga is that at your essence, you are a divine consciousness, shining through and witnessing your own energetic, emotional, mental, and physical body. To be more precise, your 5 distinct and interconnected bodies, existing on 5 distinct planes of reality, which we're going to get into today. You will also learn that you are as much an energetic being as you are a material being. And if you want to change something in the matter, be it your tangible thoughts and emotions, habit patterns, physical health, or even physical reality, you will need to address the matter within your energetic body, moving through all the varying densities of yourself. And finally, you learn that the more you are connected to your innate, luminous, spiritual self, the more you allow her to shine through, the healthier your mind and body will be. This is a great reversal from the mainstream approach of tending to physical ailments, which are tended to at the exact physical location that they have manifested in a purely material way. For example, if you're having anxious thoughts, cycling through controlling or fearful ideas, the approach is often fixated on only the mental processes, on resolving these mental processes through thinking through them or through forcefully changing neurochemicals, which often results in prolonged therapy with limited results. Another difference is that you're often guided towards completely identifying with your diagnosis, as if this manifestation of your mental or physical anxiety were your ultimate truth, and that this needs to be fixed, even if it means violent removal of organs or harsh chemical intervention. What a dangerous thing to believe in. Ayurveda and yoga teach you to simultaneously not get attached, identifying with your thoughts, body, or diagnosis, while also not bypassing the ferocious, tender, and deep rooted care of your mind and body. There is a middle way in working with your mind and body, learning about this brilliant technology that's been gifted to you, and working daily and diligently to purify and balance your body from within without identifying with any of it at all. Furthermore, in understanding that there are these subtler energetic truths that exist beneath and within your body and mind that inform its health and status, you really open up your capacity to heal and care. And you get to pay attention to these subtler energetic truths, the constricted and tense state of your muscles, the unending fluctuations of your mind, the clenched gut, the shallow and irregular breath, overstimulated wind and fire energy within you, those thick layers of heavy and dark energy clouding light from within. These are all examples of energetic realities that inform the physical and mental, and all examples of symptoms you get to address in order to release the anxiety of the mind. Within an Ayurvedic approach, you look at the whole being, the mind and body's many layers of reality in its varying densities, and offer it right nutrition on all levels: material, spiritual, and energetic. Not just at the site of the mind or brain or wherever the issue is located, but really the whole body. And like a smart ecosystem, when nourished as a whole with balanced climate, seeds, insects, and soil nutrients, it self regenerates and heals as a whole. It is able to express in itself the highest forms of beauty and creativity and purpose. And within the framework of your own body, this means the manifestation of more grateful and joyful and clear thoughts, and as a byproduct of your healthy state, not as something that needed to be willed or forced into existence. As Richard Rudd says, the biggest dilemma with anxiety is that we can't think our way out of it. Mental knowledge isn't enough. No amount of psychoanalysis is going to be enough. We have to contact the vibration directly. Learning about your body's 5 sheaths or 5 energetic layers, as taught within the Upanishads and built upon in Ayurveda and yoga, is a great way for you to understand how deep this goes and actually contact that vibration directly, as well as becoming more familiar with the concept of prana and orienting yourself towards it in all ways and all matters. So, your being or existence as an individual entity can be categorized into 5 sheaths or 5 bodies. Another way of putting it is your true nature is veiled by 5 sheaths. These layers or coverings not only mask the brilliance of the self, but also express it in varying degrees depending on their own openness and state of purity. According to the Taittiriya Upanishad, these sheaths, from most dense to most subtle, also describes the potential evolution of your consciousness from matter to spirit. So, knowing these 5 layers intimately provides you a way into knowing the subtler aspects of yourself and directing your power and love to clearing and harmonizing parts of yourself that might not be obvious to the physical eye and egoic thought. You also begin to tune into the parts of your body that sense this world beyond just the physical. You're going to learn this soon. Your senses of seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, and feeling don't just operate on a physical and material level, but also on subtler levels as well. You begin to trust the information you receive via your intuition, inner feeling, and subtle senses, and act more boldly in accordance. And this is how you most effectively and holistically experience your highest potentials of mental and physical health. So here it is, the 5 sheaths. Your physical body is known as Annamaya kosha, the food or material energy sheath. It is the densest and most tangible of your 5 bodies. The health and expression of this body is informed primarily by the material inputs that you bring into yourself. Your food, herbs, oxygen, and hydration, feeding and building your bones, blood, tissues, and organs. But this layer is also fed and informed by the other 4 sheaths, which we're going to get into. These are subtler in quality and permeate your physical body with their intelligence, frequency, and vitality too. This physical sheath cannot persist on its own or on purely physical inputs. It does require pranic life force and the radiance of yourself to activate and animate it. This is already super important to note because it's too easy to slip into a complete identification with your physical body, its looks, symptoms, and diagnosis, as if it were the wholeness of who you are. And it's too easy to slip into addressing physical symptoms as if they were only physical, when they are most often a direct manifestation of the energetic codes lying within. The best way to raise the health and vitality of your physical sheath is, of course, to feed it recipes, produce, lifestyle, herbs, and hydration that help to purify it. The less clogged up this physical sheath is with undigested foodstuff, stress, and toxins, the more clearly it will express the highest intelligence of your radiant self through clear skin, regular digestion, steady heart health, high immune strength, and strong bones and muscles. The second sheath is Pranamaya kosha, or the vital energy body, composed of life force, prana. Prana animates the body. It enables breathing and it drives all actions. Prana is like the invisible electricity that runs a machine. When prana departs, the body becomes lifeless. Or when prana is trapped or weakened, the body and mind also become blocked and weak. The body lives by prana. Through the practice of pranayama, the conscious regulation and expansion of your breath, you refine this vital energy, which then raises the quality and expression of all things within you. Your thoughts, your ideas, your immune function, your relationships, your metabolism, all things. As the flow of your breath becomes harmonious, your heart feels lighter and awareness begins to rise inwards. Expanding your breath and contemplating on your breath helps to bring more pause into your day and slows you down. It breaks through the normalcy of constriction and tightness within your body, and it allows more awareness into your perception. It completely rewires the way you respond to tension, not with more stress, but instead with stillness and spaciousness of mind. Pranayama is a way of meeting an anxious physical or mental state with the opposite qualities of energy: rhythm, regularity, openness, pause, and depth. Because it is prana that is the ultimate force of vitality and intelligence within your body, and the Pranamaya kosha that infuses this prana into all other parts of you, caring for this kosha is of utmost importance. There is no mental or physical health possible if your prana is blocked, constricted, or dulled. The more you pay attention to your breath, the more you cultivate an intimacy with your breath, the higher your perceptiveness of your own prana will be, and of the prana and all other things too. You will begin to gravitate towards foods, experiences, and ideas that consist of a higher and healthier codex of prana. This is a refined level of attentiveness to the inner substance of things, beyond just their superficial appearance. You will notice that you're thinking less in calories and proteins and more in the index of prana. You will notice that you're able to see through the glamour of people and things and sense their inner vitality more immediately. This will become a new and more informed compass for you. For if something is high in vitality and you make contact with it, its energetic aliveness will create more vitality within your own body and mind too. The third sheath is known as Manomaya kosha, the sheath of the mind. Here your thoughts, emotions, ego, and sensory perceptions arise. When we think of the phrase mental health, we're most often zooming into the health and status of this kosha alone. Your mind works to perceive the world around you and within you through the help of your 5 physical senses in the Annamaya kosha, as well as the subtler senses of your Manomaya kosha. The health of this function is exceptionally important to the health of your overall body and life. What often happens though is that if this mental sheath is untrained, clogged up, and unfocused, and if the ego that exists within it is quite inflated and hyperactive, your thoughts can quite easily get trapped oscillating between desire and aversion, past thoughts and future imaginations, and anchoring itself on external gratification, transient pleasures, and societal validation instead of anchoring within in your own internal knowledge and your own unending sense of contentment. When the oscillation of your thoughts is so rapid and so uncontrollable, you're enslaved, you're constantly between this desire of aversion, swept from one thing to another, and this anchoring outside of yourself is so extreme, the light of your true self isn't able to illuminate your body and mind effectively, resulting in you operating from a place of clouded illusions of lack instead of clear-sightedness and love. Which is why one of the most effective ways of enhancing mental health is to really support infusing more equanimity and acceptance within the layer of your Manomaya kosha, training your mind to anchor inwards and remain equanimous. I have found in my own life and in supporting my clients within the Embodied Ayurveda partnership that pranayama, meditation, and inner yoga exercises are non-negotiable trainings for the Manomaya kosha. When the waves of your mind are calm, the radiance of your true self is able to shine through with more brilliance. And this is experienced as benevolent, bold, and humble thoughts and attitudes, as well as a more serviceful, abundant, and embracing approach to life. Annamaya kosha, the physical sheath, physical body, and Manomaya kosha, the mental body, are especially influenced by the electromagnetic field of Pranamaya kosha that lies in between them both. This field of vital energy surrounds, pervades, and sustains your physical body and acts as a vital link between your body and mind. Therefore, prana is the bridge between your body and mind. The breath is the bridge between your body and mind. And it also happens to connect your mind to your psychic field or causal body, which is known as Vijnanamaya kosha, the sheath of special or higher knowledge. So now we come to your fourth body, Vijnanamaya kosha, the sheath of wisdom and discrimination. This is your body's realm of higher understanding and insight. It allows you to distinguish truth from illusion, real from unreal, an especially important skill to have and continuously refine in today's world of excess and mimicry. Really, in Vijnanamaya kosha is your capacity for discernment. When this body, more subtler than all the three mentioned before, is purified through meditation, contemplation, pranayama, and right nutrition, your intellect becomes a luminous guide. One of the most powerful ways to refine and strengthen the health of the sheath is through contemplating on the divine itself. Some examples of this are through reading spiritual scripture, prayer, meditating on nature, gazing towards and contemplating on the rising sun, or chanting Om. As you do so, along with purifying and vitalizing the denser three sheaths, your intellect becomes a sure compass towards goodness, beauty, and truth within you and outside of you. And this then illuminates your mental processes, your Manomaya kosha, enabling your mind to see which of your thoughts are truly true, in service to you and in service to others, and which are mechanisms of sabotage or smallness and can be allowed to die. A refined and nourished Vijnanamaya kosha naturally disciplines, soothes, and grounds your body and mind. Or as it's said, the clean mirror of the intellect reflects the self as it truly is. Vijnanamaya kosha is the sheath that most directly receives divine information and transmits it to you. This is the body through which you feel even before you fully understand the wondrous beauty of nature, the vast miracle of life, the joyful abundance of this earth mother, and the presence of God. This is the intelligence of your heart center, a wisdom that is expansive and unconditionally loving, and unconditionally yours. That being said, it's important to remember that even your highest reasoning faculty is still not the wholeness of who you are, neither is it your highest and truest self. It is an instrument and sheath, at best a clear reflection, and it's important not to get stuck associating completely with this body too. And at your innermost level shines the fifth sheath, your bliss body, or Annamaya kosha, where your prana remains in its purest and subtlest state of harmony and luminosity. Here, your peace and joy arise simultaneously as your mind and intellect become silent, aware, and turned completely inwards. This is a state you can access in deep rest, where individuality dissolves and only bliss remains. And yet, even this bliss state is not the final reality of your consciousness. It is still a layer through which your consciousness is illuminated or reflected. The eternal you transcends even bliss, shining forth as the pure witness. So here is an invitation for you to really expand your sense of self beyond just who you think you are or what you physically see or sense about yourself. Expand your sense of self beyond your mind and begin to include your breath, your inner feelings that you can't quite comprehend just yet, the tinglings of your heart, your inner knowing, and your inner sense of bliss and joy in your sense of you. And as you continue to do so, Continue to exist on all 5 planes simultaneously, continue to know, nourish, and purify all 5 of your bodies, you'll actually discover that you aren't actually any of these bodies at all. You are not the physical body, you are not the breath, you are not the mind, you are not the intellect, and you are not even the experience of bliss. You are the witness of all these 5 sheaths, and you are the intelligence that permeates all these 5 sheaths. But in order to arrive here to this space and to this knowing, you do need to be in full relationship, care, and intimacy with all 5 of your bodies. You need to see how deeply interlinked they are. The breath is an especially powerful way to experience this linkage. Because, of course, it operates on the level of Annamaya kosha. It is oxygen food for your blood cells. It can be examined and counted by material scientists. You learn about the necessity of a certain amount of clean oxygen into your physical lungs and learn about the importance of healthy circulation, immune function, blood pressure, all linked to oxygen intake. But the breath is also much more subtle, and it's the main route through which prana, or your vital life force, is circulated through your pranic body, or the Pranamaya kosha. When you practice breath awareness for even 10 minutes daily, you notice how your mind sharpens and you begin to perceive the subtler sensations of energetic flow throughout your body. Certain breathing styles, as taught to us in pranayama, raise the frequency and purity of this prana. You experience this as your boosted capacity to self-heal from viral infections and sustained energy levels through the day without caffeine, even without much food, without much sugar. And the breath doesn't stop here. It even permeates the Manomaya kosha, meaning it exists as an even subtler substance, not just as the physical layer of oxygen, which is unfortunately how most people perceive it, a very limiting, small conception of reality, and not just on the Pranamaya kosha. It exists on this third, subtler Manomaya kosha level as well, in its own subtler form. And on an intuitive level, you'll agree that your mental thoughts and sense perceptions are all influenced directly by the quality of your breath and your breathing. It's as if your breath holds in its field a certain vibrational quality of thought depending on its state, and depending on if you're breathing shallow and rapid, irregular, constricted, unaware, versus open, expansive, slow, and regular. A completely different lens is used through which you think and perceive. The subtler aspects of your breath exist even within the plane of the Vijnanamaya kosha, the field of your higher wisdom. Because ultimately the breath is prana, and prana is that which animates and infuses the intelligence of the cosmos into your inner knowing and creativity. So when prana is nourished within you, it's flowing freely, fed by high pranic contemplations and rituals, and not stuck in your lower chakras, then your Vijnanamaya kosha too will be more illuminated. But if prana is blocked within your body, if you've been restricting or constricting your own breath, mental processes, emotions, and truth, then most definitely its expression within Vijnanamaya kosha will be blocked too. This multidimensional existence pertains to all parts of you, the organ of your heart, kidneys, blood cells, eyes, and so on. They exist on physical, energetic, mental, and spiritual planes all at once, with various functions and significance on each of those 5 planes. Meaning your heart, for example. It is, yes, your physical heart pumping blood in the Annamaya kosha, also the strongest radiator and magnet of your unique electromagnetic currents in the Pranamaya kosha, also the seat of compassionate and loving thoughts and perceptors in the Manomaya kosha, also the center of universal love and wisdom in your Vijnanamaya kosha and the ultimate throne of joy in your Annamaya kosha. I want you to take a moment and really imagine this multi-layered existence of the heart, the physicality of the heart holding these subtler, energetic, spiritual capacities, functions, and truths. And so, if your capacity for compassion and empathy is blocked on a mental level, it's most definitely going to affect your physical circulation and blood pressure. Or if the arteries around your heart are physically clogged due to poor eating habits, it most definitely will influence your capacity to feel deeper compassion and heart-centered love. And if you're going through an emotional heartbreak, you probably will feel the physical pain of this in your heart region, heart organ. Like this, every single part of you exists within all 5 bodies or sheaths and must be tended to holistically. And so it's going to make more and more sense why it's exceptionally hard to cultivate a steady and calm mind if your breath is shallow and forced. Why it's exceptionally hard to cultivate a discerning intellect if your physical body is clogged up and dysregulated. Why it's exceptionally hard to cultivate a strong immune system if your mind is racing or body full of low prana foods, because all these parts of your 5 bodies exist simultaneously and inform one another quite directly. And all 5 of your bodies in their totality express and reflect your true self via their varying densities and functions. And so it's necessary that you nourish them via a whole system and multi-dimensional approach. So if you're currently trying to stabilize one very specific aspect of your life, be it mental, emotional, or physical, maybe it would be helpful for you to zoom out of seeing this issue that is something hyper-localized or isolated from the whole, or just on one level of reality, and instead see how it might be embedded in the whole and be existing on all 5 planes of you. Look at what you are feeding each of these 5 sheaths in your daily life and notice how they might be affecting each other. Pay attention to how what you eat and drink is affecting your capacity to meditate and discern. Observe how your breathing style is affecting your digestion and appetite. Notice how your spiritual contemplations might affect your mental health. Notice how the health of your physical heart affects the health of your emotional heart, or the health of your physical breath affects the health of your inner clarity of mind. Notice how the quality of your thoughts affect the quality of your breathing and energy levels. And notice how the freshness of your food affects your feelings of joy and bliss. Also, pay attention to what you see, hear, and feel beyond what is just materially apparent to you. You and all your bodily functions and parts and senses are existing on multiple planes, and you get to access and work with the information you receive from beyond just the tangible. This will bring your approach to health and spiritual care a lot more bigness, impact, and efficiency. I'm going to leave it at that for today. The 5 energetic bodies or sheaths, and the illuminated you that is both witness as well as shines through and experiences it all. This is the Embodied Ayurveda podcast. I am your host, Niv, a practitioner of integrated yoga, Ayurveda, and Tantra. And here you receive insights on all things health and longevity. Until next time, bye-bye.